Persuasion is such an important factor in the business selling process, as well as other factors in your life. We see this come into play in chapters 19 and 20 in the Yes book regarding Benjamin Franklin and a scenario regarding his colleague and his respect towards him. Benjamin Franklin saw that his colleague was not giving him the respect that he thought he deserved, and so instead of approaching him about it, he thought of a really interesting strategy on how to get his respect that he wanted. He simply asked a simple favor from his colleague of borrowing a book, and afterwards, returned that book and showed his gratitude for the favor. And after that, he said him and his colleague developed a really good relationship between each other, and his colleague started treating him with respect that he wanted from the beginning. So, with that said, researchers were wondering, was Benjamin Franklin right regarding the favor theory? And what was interesting is that they found with a scenario regarding a experimenter, and basically this experimenter was giving money to contestants after a contest. And one group he approached and asked them to give the money back because it was his own money and he didn't have much left of it. The other group was just simply not approached at all, and after the contest was concluded, they both were surveyed on basically how much they favored the experimenter. And what's interesting is that the group that was asked to give the money back were more in favor of the experimenter than those who weren't. So this shows that people are strongly motivated to change their attitudes in ways that are consistent with their behavior. But with this, you may be reluctant to ask, say, a coworker for a favor because you think that they won't do it, or the rejection of it is just going to be too embarrassing. What's interesting with this is that if you have nothing from the beginning, the worst thing that can happen is that they'll say no, and then you can just basically are left with the same thing that you were in the beginning. So asking for a little can really go a long way. But the problem with this that we see in chapter 20 is that people still say no to small requests or small donations. And why is that? Is because either they can't afford it or they think their small donation will not have an effect on, let's just say, the company or charity or donation. For example, in chapter 20, they showed an experiment where researchers went to houses and asked if they would be willing to donate to the American Cancer Society. And one half of the group that they surveyed, they said, even a small penny will help. And then the other group, they simply just left the request as is and went on about their experiment. It showed that the people who were asked or told even a small penny will help, they were more willing to donate than those who weren't. The problem with this is that they were scared that if they tell people that even a small penny will help, then they won't donate as much money as they can because they think, oh, I can just donate a quarter or whatever. But they actually saw that the people who were approached about even a small penny will help actually donated more money than the group that didn't. So in order for you to be successful in persuading somebody with the even a small penny will help strategy is that you need to legitimize small actions in order for them to be successful. For example, you could use this in the business world as towards your coworkers. You say, just a small hour of your time or just a small amount of time will really benefit me or really will help me. Can really show that, one, you'll be appreciative of their favor, and two, it won't take up too much time or their resources. Another example is that just a little bit more clarity will help, or can you explain that more? Can show that, one, you're interested in what they're telling you or asking you about, on top of you'll get what you want and they'll get what they want. Being persuasive can be really important, and I think these two scenarios regarding Benjamin Franklin and these contest winners on top of this donation is really important because it shows that persuading doesn't have to be pushy, but it really can be effective in getting favors and being successful in the business world.